Okay. Well, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Steve Wright, Global Support Manager for Cyrusson, and welcome to the first of many free training Fridays. It's 1 minute before 10 Central Time. I'm just going to allow people to get their alerts in and join us through the GoToWebinar. So we'll kick this off probably around 2 or 3 minutes after the hour. Hello, for those that are joining us just now, welcome to the webinar. My name is Steve Wright, Global Support Manager for Cyrusson, and we are going to be kicking off in, I'll give it a couple of minutes, maybe 3 minutes past the hour, and we'll get straight into the Training Friday. Thanks. Hello, James.
Hello.
Okay, just checking that you're there. I think this is the 2 minute. This is the 2 minute gap where we would like to have some hold music.
You can sing us a song, Steve.
That would definitely reduce the attendee level. they didn't join Karaoke Friday. All right, for those that are listening in on us right now, we're just going to give it another minute. We'll go off at 8 minutes, at 3 minutes past the hour. I just allow people who are joining, getting their alerts in, and setting up their GoToWebinar. It sometimes takes a little bit of time, so we'll kick off. I'm respectful of those that have joined early and are ready to go, so please bear with us. It's 8:03 by my watch. So on that note, I'd like to kick it off. Welcome again to Free Training Fridays. This is the first one of many that we're proposing to do with Cyrusson. Just an opportunity to really share a little bit of what we know from the support team and from other departments, and just an opportunity to get a bit more of a training experience, learning experience with our customers and people looking at things to do with the Cyrusson product. Joined with by myself, Steve Wright, and also James Attons. James, want to say hi?
Hi there, guys.
And James is going to be driving the training today with a very cool tool. We're going to be, it says, getting started with the free SMP helper tool. I'm not going to steal any of his thunder whatsoever. And in the respect of time, we're going to be running this webinar probably with inside 30 minutes is the target. So we'll be done by 8:30. Let me just run on to my next slide, which didn't click automatically. So basically, this is the intro that you're hearing right now. We've got the demo, and then there's a quick outro. Just a couple of points of housekeeping. Please post your questions if you've got anything that sort of jumps out at you while James is going through the session. I'll be watching the chat window and for any questions. And if it's relevant, we'll jump into the session itself. And if it's something we can do at the end, then we'll either post it or get back to you directly with an answer. We will answer all the questions. And also, great opportunity to join our community. This solution is actually posted in our community, so it's free and available for you guys to try and test out yourself. And it's a great place for ongoing communication and contact with peers and Syrison staff as well. So with that said, I am going to click the next button, which is the demo. I'm going to hand over. Are you ready, James?
Yep.
I'm going to
let's go for it.
him the presenter. And there you go. I think you've got it. Okay, I can see your screen, so we're good to go.
Right, hi there, everyone. Brief background on this. So this is just something I pulled together, and it's matured over time just to help with some of the mundane day-to-day tasks, and that I thought could be automated. And it also just saves time when you're trying to run scripts and PowerShell scripts, SQL queries, and things like that. So let's go into it. So here's the SMP Helper v5. This will be able to download. You can download v4 at the moment on our community site under the Syrison uploads page, and this is v5, which will be uploaded after the presentation. So the first tab is all around the cache builder. So in here you can get basic stats. So you can see, for example, my cache builder is running here. The current login level is set to error. If you wanted to change this, you can click on either of these buttons here to set it to all. And now if you see, that is now set the actual log file to all. Bear in mind that you need to do a restart of this for it to take effect. And you could also click on this checkbox here to rename the log file, so you're not looking through years worth of data. The get button here, this pulls any cache builder related Windows event errors through. You can expand this as well to see more. And then there's a quick access button here that would take you straight to the log file. It just saves time rather than having to go through your standard files to find it all. Moving over to Portal Cache, this is very similar to the previous one. You can see the status, you can restart the status, get the platform version, get Windows event errors. Again, these will only show errors because we're not interested in the information side of it all. And you can open up the log file there directly as well. Same for the web console. You can get the status of the web service and the app pull. You can get your current login level of the web console log file. And again, these could be changed. And you can open it directly here. You can restart the service and renaming the log file as well. You can restart the app pull, or do a complete IS reset here. Get current connections. This will pull how many users are actually connected to the website itself, the Syrison portal website. As you see, I've got 0 at the moment because I haven't got it open. And this one here will pull through any events for the web portal. I haven't had any for the last few days, so these are older events. Management server. So you can get the basic stats around your data access. Management config service. You can restart these here as well. You can get your management group name. You can open up any errors for the ops manager event log. And you can get the running processes to see the memory that's being used. We've also got get failed workflows. So this query will pull back any failed workflows. It's a nice simple way of doing it rather than having to troubleshoot if you're going up through looking through the statuses, it can take a bit of time to find.
Now, I'm going to jump in there real quick on this, James. The speed at which he's walking through the tabs is a testimony to how quick it is to get information. Because sometimes if you're on a support call with an analyst from our team, or if you're working on something internally yourself, by the time you need to find out that information, what your login level is set to, how to change your login level, errors on a particular event viewer, you're jumping around screens all over the place just to get that information for yourself, let alone to get that information for a support analyst to send it to Cyrus and for troubleshooting. And it just speaks to how quickly it is to get this information right at your fingertips.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's simple, it's clean, it's all in one place for anything to do with Cyruston, Portal, and Service Manager. Last one, which is a new feature for V5, is to reset the local health store. Obviously, people like to do this sometimes when the local store gets a bit full and the console starts to play up a bit. You can see that's my live one there. If I go and do a reset, it timestamps it for you and it will create the new folder. So that in itself is quite a good feature.
Yeah.
Moving on to the data warehouse. So again, it's similar to the management. You can get the statuses. Obviously, when you get to console, sometimes it says the data warehouse isn't available. So you could always look up here and make sure the service is running. If not, you can give it a restart, which would kick it into life. And then you can get your events to see what's happening there. Also, this will pull the processes that are currently running on the data warehouse. And there's a few quick PowerShell scripts here which will show you the status of the data warehouse jobs running. So you can see mine are currently, some of them are running, some of them are old. Bear in mind, when this goes blue, it means it's working out in the background. There we go. So you can see my queues processing, and you can get some information around that. And job module status. So you can see none of those are currently going at the moment. If there's any failures here, which sometimes happen with the DW, it will show it in this summary here.
Very cool.
Moving over to SQL tab. So this will just run some basic queries. So you can see the service management database size. You can go through the table size if you want a more granular to see what's taking up your space. SMP settings table. This pulls in the information which you would find under the portal admin page. Again, it's just a nice quick glance of how it's configured. And the Cache Builder job stats. This shows the last time the Cache Builder had run its jobs. So where you would restart the service, you can see how often this runs. Then you're getting some more queries around troubleshooting users. So let me grab a ticket number. So for an example, I use Bob. Bob is my full admin user. So if I can show this to you, if you get memberships, you can see he's a member of Analyst, Asset Manager, and KB. And he has got, this will see if he's got access over this ticket, and you can see he has full permissions over this ticket. If I was to change it to my other test user, who, as you can see, isn't a member of any groups, and they don't have permission. So this would be, this is similar to running the PowerShell scripts or SB check. It's just done in a nice GUI interface. You can see users are scoped as well. So you can see my user Ella is scoped where my admin shouldn't be scoped at all. No. Then there's some other scripts here. So display WI is attached to assets. This would just show you any ticket you have that's got an asset attached to it. It's just something I've ran a couple of times on various tickets, so I thought I'd put this in here in case you ever need it. And display installed Cyrus and MP. So it's just a quick nice clean way of seeing all the Cyrus MPs and the versions they're running at, so you can quickly correspond to what's on the website, see if you're up together. I have a query for the workflow job to see the watermarks. And then the last one is the event viewer for the application log on the SQL Server itself. Next tab is a license. So within here, you'll populate your license key and you can click check to check. I've got a screenshot where I've blurred out my license key. So clicking on the check will pull through and you can see the key's valid and when it's set to expire. If you click on the additional information, this will pull through various, you can't scroll on here, so it's a snip, but you've also got the air gap key, so you can cut and paste the air gap license in.
And it's easier to cut and paste in that window sometimes than trying to get to the very end of the line.
Right,
yeah.
And then the last one, which is the first page you get to when you open up, is the settings page. So this one you can set your port server, the drive it's installed, and the database name in case you don't use a default. Even though you're running this, this has to be run on a management server, and obviously you need the relevant permissions to be able to restart these services and run the SQL queries and PowerShell scripts. We have added a new login feature here. So as we've been running this, you can see that was when I restarted the health store. So it's timestamped that I'm the administrator at the moment. I first run it at this time. You can see I changed the login level. I've restarted it. So if we go and give the portal cache service a quick restart, you will see this will get updated briefly in here. There you go, and it's timestamped. Something else with V5 which we've introduced is if you don't have a data warehouse server or the data warehouse available in your environment and it's not running, the tab won't be there. Just to keep it cleaner for you, because not everyone has a data warehouse, especially in a test environment. And that's the same for the license tab. If you don't have the relevant Cyrus license, this tab will not be present either. So the last few things on here, we've got a generate discovery report. This can take 30 seconds or more, depending on how large your environment is. And this is just a complete dump of your service manager environment. So it will show you all your templates, just various information about your setup. And it saves a copy to your local desktop.
Cool.
We won't go through all of this because it's just general stuff. So it shows you server information, data warehouse jobs, settings, event logs, all your request offerings, all your views you have, just various information which could come in handy to you.
I can see that being useful, especially if you've got a staging and dev environment that you're trying to keep some sort of parity with. The discovery report will be helpful to see what's on each of the platforms.
Yep. And then we have actually, before build reports, something else that we've put into V5 is the now the ability. So if you make any changes to this, it saves your settings. So as soon as you close the app, you have a settings.json and it remembers the information you've put in. So you don't need to, where previously you had to set these every single time you open the app, this now saves to your app data local, your profile. The last one on here is the build report. So this was something that we get so many tickets come in, and where we need help, there's always the get back and forth of asking for certain files and things. So this actually creates a quick zip file which you could easily attach to one of our tickets you have with us, and this just gives us information like your cache builder log file, various dumps. It's not data that's going to affect you guys. It's more just around the environment that we might need just to help us troubleshoot your tickets. And again, the web console log. And I believe that is everything, Steve.
That's good. That's good. That makes it. It certainly does make life easier. I mean, the use cases vary. I was on a call yesterday with a customer, and rather than just simply ask for the log, we took a few more minutes and actually got the SMP helper downloaded and running, and it just made things a lot easier within their non-production environment to just test and troubleshoot, restart cache builders, and see what was going on, checking permissions. So that was very helpful. Certainly, the use case is for those multiple environments. Obviously, in production, you're not going to want to restart a cache builder at will. That may take a bit more planning. But certainly in your dev stage and environments where you're just going backwards and forwards and testing things, it makes life a lot easier. Thank you, James. I've got a couple of questions that came up. One was around the I think it was on the SCSM. We were looking at SQL on the permissions. But we were checking. We have an SP. A stored procedure that checks for work item permissions. Is it possible to get the request offering permissions as well? It's on one of our KBs, KB35.
Yep, and that's a good point. Yep, we could add that in. Yeah, because this one is literally just checking against IRs. So that you are right. There is one that checks against requests offering service requests. So yes.
Okay, cool. And what was the other question I had here? It was. On the licenses, on the license list that you get, it doesn't include does it include the portal licenses? And I actually thinking about the answer to that question.
I can click check right now and just no, it only pulls through the applications. It won't pull through your analyst KB dashboard ones.
Okay, so and those are the ones that
your hash.
Your environment hash would need to be present to show those keys. So I mean that's just a caveat because we're using the product key exclusively without the environment hash. So those extra four license keys are going to be in your admin settings, license settings within the portal itself. So but overall that's pretty much the product. Very powerful, very useful. It's dynamic. We've gone through from version 1 to version 5 in how many months, James? Probably 3-4 months. I think we kicked this off.
Yeah, it's about November. I did the very first version, which was very
Thanksgiving
compared to what this is doing now.
Yeah. And it's something that certainly, if there's, as we see the need in the team, we'll definitely address it. And as customers give us their feedback, we'll definitely make sure we got the option to speak to that as well. I've got a question here that just come in. Are there any plans to place some of these tools into the portal admin section so they can be run directly from the portal? Good question. And that is something. It's a great question, actually. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's from Brian. Yeah. So this is something that I've always thought. This is why I created this tool, because I was always saying to John and the other staff, why aren't these things simple day-to-day things? Why isn't there
a built in? Yeah.
But I think completely out of my control being a support engineer, and that's why I started to build this app, because it's simple tasks that, like Brian says, they should be in the portal.
Yeah, and I think to the answer, the question is, are there any plans? And I think something like this being surfaced and actually being presented in this kind of format, and people seeing it, and we get more uptake on the tools themselves, it gives us the leverage to put it into the product. And I'm all for things that are features that are customer led. rather than sort of just a good idea that we think you should have. So definitely this is an opportunity to kind of get that feedback into it. And there are some very low-hanging fruit in terms of just getting that into the portal. So watch this space, Brian. It may be something that shows up, if not as a feature request, certainly something that we will drive internally to see if we can make that happen. But a very good question, though.
Bad thing from my eyes, though, it makes my app obsolete.
Well, it just gives us another avenue to explore. I mean, we'll keep building tools in support that we feel are going to help our customers, and whether they're in the product or not, whether it's a bunch of workarounds that we have to deal with, while we're addressing an issue, support will do what they can to make sure customers have the tools and the solutions and the answers that they need. So definitely it may make the product obsolete, but that's a good thing. It means that it's built into the main main product and good to go. I'm going to grab the screen back. I've got one more slide, and I've got 8:25 on my clock here. So thank you, James. That was awesome, and I'm happy the chat is still open. So if you've still got questions, I think you see my screen now, the demo page, and then I've just got my final screen. Basically, I'm not sure of the makeup of the audience on this call, whether everyone here is a customer of Cybersyn. But certainly getting started with Cybersyn has never been easier in terms of looking at our suite of products. We've recently introduced some new products in the control center, looking after the configuration manager and the software asset management space. So certainly anything in our solution offering can be, you can reach out to us for a trial. Team@cybersyn.com is the best place to get that information to. And as I said at the beginning, the Cybersyn community is a great place to see solutions like this. We'll have feedback and any additional questions or comments or updates, recommendations in the community. Please take the time to just check it around without a login. Sign up to contribute, and so we can reach out to you. We're excited to keep that space buzzing, and it's great that Brian's one of our IT monkeys in that space. So you'll see a lot of things from him. Thanks for the comment, Adam. Certainly, he was saying that it's an awesome tool, but nice to be able to restart DWETL jobs from it as well. Okay, that's interesting. James has got these comments as well, so he'll be working on that. But Michael Voigt joined late and asked about the version 5. That's going to be up right after this session, Mike. So literally, James got it ready for the presentation, and we'll have version 5 up on the community space very shortly. Okay, so I've got 8:27 on my clock. I'm okay for a few more minutes. If there's anything else coming into the chat window, we'll address it here. James, any other comments? Anything else that we can?
No, only that. Yeah, like you just said, I was going to as soon as we end this, I'll upload V5. Mm-hmm. Which again, obviously, like you said, it's under the community and Cybersyn uploads.
Yep. And definitely
it would just be put onto the original SMP helper.
Okay.
thread.
Okay, cool. So just check out the bottom of that thread, and it'll be available. Also, I'd for those that download it and check it out, I'd love your feedback and comments on not only what we could do better, but the use case that this serves. We see it from a need to get information from customers with regards to login. That was a big driver. And then James just went over and above in terms of all the little things that you do on a day-to-day basis that are just easier to do from a panel like the SMP helper. But certainly it'd be nice to know what kind of environment you have, and where you see this thing, really helping out in terms of just saving you a dozen clicks and 3 or 4 screen loads to walk through. So definitely give us your feedback on the community thread for this product. So that's it from me. I'm going to give you back the rest of the 2 minutes of your day. Thank you for joining. Please look out for the next free training Fridays. It was advertised as being every Friday, and I'm just going to say that here on the video and on the recording that that is our goal, to get it out on a every Friday basis. But please bear with us as we sort of gather our resources and the material that we want to cover on a regular Friday basis. And if you have any input on that, feel free to reach out to myself or James, email or through the community. Anyhow, you can reach out to us to let us know what you'd like to see in a short, very concise window of time, so we can get that information out to you. So thanks again. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that came up.
No, I've just uploaded it and sent out the link.
Oh, okay, good. Gotcha. All right, that's fantastic. That's how quick we respond here in support. So that's great. Thank you, James. Thanks again. Thanks again, James. Thank you all for joining. We look forward to seeing you in the next one, and eagerly await your comments and feedback. Okay, thanks again, and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.